Alrighty, we've got another unit here, and I ordered this for parts, so we'll see what condition the unit is in. This is a Channel Master Micronic tape recorder, model 6465 or something like, yeah, 6456, model 6456. And it's a really nice tape recorder. As you can see, this has got quite a bit of corrosion in the battery compartment. But I had promised you some time ago, a complete redo of this Channel Master. This was the 6465 that I did a video on a couple of years ago, and it turned out beautifully, and I was just so tickled. But all I did was put a belt in this one and cleaned it up, and so I wanted to do a complete refurb on this one and for you, and I got this for a decent price on eBay, so I thought I would grab it and try to do a little repair video for you. It's got some tape already here, which is going to make it interesting. I'm curious. It's a capstan drive tape recorder, and I believe it's 1 5/16. So it's a pretty slow running tape, which of course impacts the quality of the audio. But because it's capstan drive, we won't have near as much wow and flutter that you would have on a rim drive tape recorder. So I don't know what condition this tape recorder is in. This is the microphone you may remember from the other video that I did, and so it's got a built-in mic here. It also has a radio input, and you can select the microphone or the line radio input. Has 9-volt DC and a monitor, so when you're recording with the microphone, you can put a little headset in here and listen to see if you're getting decent volume. And I believe that the volume control controls the recording volume. I don't think it's an automatic level control, but you can see it's a real pretty looking thing. It's got great chrome trim on it, and this one's not nearly as clean as this unit, but that's okay. Let's get into it here, and let's put 9 volts on it and see what kind of possibilities we have with the belt. I don't remember. I do have some belts printed for this, so I know I've got a belt that'll fit it. And so let's just start with it and see where we go. Let me get the power hooked up here. Okay, now we don't know if the center pin is positive or negative. Let me get this cord in here so I don't break it. Oops, just push that plastic in. We'll have to fix that. So the way we test this is we'll put a meter on the positive side here, and then we'll check to see which side of the DC in is positive. That's one way to check without tearing it all apart. So we'll put this on tone. Okay, and see if we can identify the negative side. Okay, nothing there. Okay, so that's positive, as you can see on the battery positive there, and red positive here. We'll just see if anything is working. Okay, so it does move. The take-up reel's not turning. Go to play. We have audio. Okay, rewind. All right, so the belt is not broken. It's a little stiff. So I don't know what we're going to find on the tape. We do have audio, which is a good sign. Okay, let's try it. All right, are we running the tape across the head? Let's look. Okay, so the head, we got good audio. That's a good sign. All right, let's take a known good tape and let's see how this one does. I don't know what's on this, I don't remember. Okay, so it's got some music. And these are original Channel Master tapes. Isn't that beautiful? These tapes don't have Channel Master written on them, but that's okay. They're still in pretty good shape. So let's see what we have here. See if we can get audio from the tape head. Okay. All right, so that's working. The tape audio is good, so there's no audio on this side of the tape. So we'll flip this tape over and see if there's anything on the other side. One of the greatest things about doing these repairs, and I've said this many times, is the batteries are getting low on this one, aren't they? Is the discovery of what's on these tapes. You just never know. I had a radio program recording Richard Nixon debating with one of his contenders, and I don't remember right now who it was, but I did figure it out and figure out who was running against Nixon at that time. But you know, somebody had recorded it off the radio and in real time, so that was a pretty cool thing. And I've heard, you know, people writing audio tape letters to somebody and telling them about their family and their kids and the weather, and it's just incredible some of the things that you pick up on these tapes. So it's one of the funnest parts about doing these repairs is discovering what's on the tapes. I'm hoping that there is something on this tape. So we'll rewind it to the other side and see if we have anything here.
licensing status and to use probation wherever situations merit using the same. We further recommended and sought to obtain the approval of the legislature where we could get sufficient funds for the immediate upgrading of personnel and staff, whose supervisors, probationers, and parolees.
All right, I'm not understanding a word they're saying. They are speaking in English, but I'm just not understanding anything.
The caseload at that time averaged around 140 per parole officer, and it should be around 50. We asked for the pay scale be set commensurate with amounts that these people could earn in private industry.
All right, there is a fast forward button, and apparently it kills the audio.
Now, those were the primary things that were requested, and I want to say this, as a thanks to the legislature, that they did come through and provided the necessary funds to do this, but those funds were made available for use only after July 1, 1973, and certain inmates at the institution just couldn't wait to give the Department of Corrections a chance to put those.
Okay, so we got a date, 1973. I don't know what she was talking about. He or she. Fast forward.
I'm RC Hill. I'm your car dealer next door. See all the cars online at rchill.com. That's rchill.com. Stock number 1574. $1 down, $289 per month for 72 months. At 5.9 APR. Visit rchill.com for details.
Everywhere you look, there's something new at Crayola Experience. What's the crayon?
That bill won't give him a scare. Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you. Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T fiber with hypergig speed, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees. Come on, man. The door's open
Now clearly that's more recent, talking about AT&T hyperspeed.
for a reason. And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months. Because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire.
Yeah,
Straightforward pricing with AT&T.
that's a recent ad, like this year.
Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase in 12 months. Limited availability. Select area. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Don't get fooled by fake online offers that change immediately once you get there. All my guarantees you the max every time. In 20 minutes alone.
Okay, so we're going to record over that just a second, just to see if we have a, obviously that's current, so we're not destroying anything of any real value. Let me back up here, back to, there we go. And so we'll push the record button here. Let's turn this off. Record button and play, and then see if the switch works. Okay, the switch is working, and we're on talking on the Channel Master microphone. I've got the volume level set to 5. Now we're going to turn it down to 3, 2, 1, 0, and now we're going back up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's full volume, and that'll tell us whether we have an automatic volume control or whether the volume knob itself is what controls the record volume. So let's test this recording. Okay, play.
The switch is working, and we're on talking on the Channel Master microphone. I've got the volume level set to 5. Now we're going to turn it down to 3, 2, 1, 0. And now we're going back up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's full volume, and that'll tell us whether we have an automatic volume control or whether the volume knob itself is what controls.
Okay, so we have ABC.
So let's test this recording.
All right, so we have automatic volume control. That's a nice feature on tape recorder, and so you don't have to worry about or forget that you had the volume turned off. And when you're recording a lecture, that could be kind of a pain. So let me put this back in place here. There we go. All right, the belt is limbering up. It's not missing like, and if I remember correctly, this belt rides on the outside of the take-up reel, and so when the belt is warped, it will occasionally skip the fast forward like it does. I mean the forward take-up reel. So we're working great. So the only thing really that we have to do with this tape recorder is repair the badly corroded battery terminals, and it takes 6 Penlight batteries. These are not so badly damaged that we can't grind them off. I think I can grind them down to metal, but we can try that, or of course we can just plug in 9 volts here and operate the tape deck. But so there's really no reason for us to bust this open, but we'll do a little bit of cleanup on it and polish the chrome, and we'll do another little 200 ohm impedance microphone, 200 ohm low impedance. And we got radio input there. We could test it for line input, where we won't bother with that. Got it turned off here. Or do I? Oh, I got it unplugged. Yeah, so there we have it. This is the Channel Master model 6446. And let's test these batteries. I think these batteries were low. See if this sounds any better with the power. All right. Yeah, they're a little low. All right, they're a little low, but anyway, this is such a cute little tape recorder. This is the Channel Master 6546. And got a little bit of problem here with aging rubber material, and this is supposed to have a little bit of felt underneath it to keep the microphone from rattling. And but there you have it. Already, as promised, since we got it running and it's working just fine, without batteries, we've got to clean up the battery terminals, and we'll do that. But I want to open the case up for you so that you get the full repair. So we'll open up the case and look at the belt, replace the belt, oil a few places that are in need of some attention, like the spindles and the capstan. We'll clean the tire on the pinch roller. We'll check the tape path head felts to see if they are clean and have the proper pressure applied to them. As we have seen in other videos that I have produced, those tape pads can be a real critical piece. We've got hinges to disconnect here. Those pads are critical. The pressure on those pads on some tape recorders are critical in order for the tape to play. Okay, we'll pull the top off there. Bottom just comes off. There we go. We've got a nice schematic here to work with if we ever needed it. and it's quite a challenge to get to this belt, and there is a drive pulley in there. So you can see the belt down in here. And there is the belt is not driven by the motor. The motor right here drives a capstan roller, which is about 2 inches in diameter. So there's a big tire that drives this capstan, and that has to be nice and smooth and no notches in it. And then the pinch roll, the capstan right here, the capstan drives the side of the belt. The belt engages the take-up reel on the for the take-up tape, and I'm pulling tape all over the place. Let me pull this tape off here. There we go. We can see the felts. I'm trying to hold all this together. See the felt pads up in there? They look in good shape. We'll clean the heads and demagnetize them. And we'll demagnetize the tape path. And then this pinch roller needs to be cleaned. You can see the residue of the tape on that. We'll oil the supply reel. Feels a little stiff to me. It's going forward there. Yeah, it does feel a little bit stiff. And there is a reason for take-up pressure, supply pressure, so that it holds the tape against the heads. But in this case, we have pads holding the tape against the heads. And so we've got a little bit of gunk here to clean up. And let's put it on rewind. And this should be super free. And it's got a little bit of drag on it as well. So we've got oil. We need to take these apart and oil them. We'll do that. It's a little noisy, so that needs some oil. And I'm sure the capstan needs a little bit of oil. All right, now getting into this assembly to get to the tires is not a big deal. We've got some red screws that we pull free, and I think the whole assembly just lifts off. Really, the top pops off, but let's do that. Let's get into the disassembly of the entire unit. There's only 2 screws here, if I remember correctly, and they are very tight. 2 red screws with a washer. My goodness. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so you can see we've got some things on top side here holding us up. The pinch roller. So we'll take the pinch roller off. There we go. Any washers hidden under there? Let's see. Yep. You gotta watch that. Watch out for that. You pull this off and the washer drops and you don't see it, you're gonna have the wrong pressure. Any more? Sometimes there's a couple. Nope, that should do it. All right, so now this whole thing should just lift off. Let's see if we can get the cover off. Let's take it out of rewind. Okay, are we missing something? Yeah, we are. We are. Okay, look right here. There's a top nut. Has to be taken off. Okay. And there we go. So we've got all kinds of wires, speaker wires, microphone cord wires that have to be navigated. So we're just gonna kind of hold things up here. There's your belt. There's the drive wheel. Let's zoom in, and then I'll do another digital zoom for you so you get it even tighter. Okay. So we have the tire here. Excuse me, the belt, and it's in beautiful condition. It's nice and soft. So we're not going to fiddle with that. I know it was slipping earlier, but it was only because of the tension. So we're going to clean it up a little bit, and we'll put some rubber rejuvenator on this tire. It's good and tight, and it just pops out from underneath the belt there. Now see, that notch could be a problem for the clunk that we were getting, because it's formed some tension on that belt. What we can try is putting another belt on. I have one over here on the printer. Let me grab that. Okay. Here's the belt that I printed. I've got quite a bit of cleanup to do, but it's the same diameter, as you can see. This rubber, well, it's not technically, it's not rubber. It's a PLA, flexible PLA material. If you guys know anything about 3D printing, you know what I'm talking about. I do have some other belts here, and I think what we'll do is we'll just check and see if I have anything that's close to this diameter. And that's a little big, maybe. Yeah, it's a little bit big. See that? And that's probably the smallest. Yeah, I got a small one here, and that's too small. Got a few more here. Any of these, I think these are all the same size. Yeah, that would probably work. It's a little bit small, as you can see. It's just a tad small. And if you get it too tight, it puts a lot of stress on things. And it might work, but it would probably drag. Let's see, does that one even any closer? All right, that one's too short or too long. So we're going to go. We had such a successful play. This was a little bit laggy because of this hump here. But I think as the tape recorder plays, the longer it plays, the better that it will do. So sometimes you can turn them inside out and put them on. And if they stay in that position, they'll lose that hump. See, watch. If I turn it inside out, sometimes that'll help, but usually it tries to find its way back to its natural state. All right, we'll use some rubber rejuvenator, put a drop of oil. That's very free and nice and free, so we're not going to oil that too heavily. Let's pull the tension off of that. Yeah, it's a little noisy, so we need a little drop of oil there. And that's noisy, so that needs a drop of oil. So we'll just do that now. You could pull that screw right there out. Get a tiny drop. There we go. And get the oil to go down into the... There, it's nice and quiet. Nice and quiet. getting quieter and quieter. Put a tiny drop on the capstan. Okay. And got oil on my fingertips here. Have to be careful. Okay, that's good. We'll put a little bit of a drop of oil on the pinch roller shaft. Just a little bit. There we go. Just enough to... Okay. We'll take some cleaning pads and supplies here. And where's our rubber rejuvenator? Don't want to use too much of this. It's pretty stout. Let that set in just a little bit. Right there is a washer in the top side, right there. See it? That's the thick one, and then there's a thin one for the bottom. Got to make sure we get the right ones on the top and bottom. The top is more recessed than the bottom, okay? So we'll make that note. And I think they're almost the same material, but this is pinch roller cleaner. It's almost a paste. It's a thick paste, and see it's taking off the oxide off of the rubber. I've illustrated this several times on some of the other videos, but for some of you that are new to my channel, you may not have seen this process, so I won't assume anything. If you want to jump ahead, or if you're like me, I just watch guys work on stuff and kind of doze as I watch them work. Remember the deeper indent was on the top, so we'll grab the washer that we pulled off the bottom. Okay. What do I do with my screwdriver? All right. Running good. I could put one little tiny drop of oil on that idler gear, idler pulley. I'll zoom in, see what I'm talking about. This idler. Good, and we'll put some rubber rejuvenator on that one. If I can reach it. Okay, same with the outside of this one. I did the inside, the top, but I need to do the outside. And we'll spin this, wipe this top off. Very good. Okay. Now, it probably would be wise to try to oil the motor. Sorry, I'm off camera there. We'll get that oil off of that shaft just to make sure, and then we'll clean it with alcohol. All right, I'm going to just lightly run that alcohol over the top of the rubber rejuvenated drive. Took a little bit of that off. We'll clean the pulley that runs the belt. All right, we're going to put the old belt back on because it worked. And we're not going to stress it with the there we go. Side here. There we go. Working great. Okay. All right, so that's the rework. We could pull these spindles off and clean them, but they're spinning so beautifully, we're not going to do that. We've oiled everything. Now we can clean the heads while we got all this apart. Get rid of all these dirty Q-tips. We don't want to reuse those. We've got oil, we've got rubber rejuvenator on them. We've got all kinds of junk on them. So we're going to take some head cleaner. A lot of folks just use alcohol. That's probably what this is. I didn't even look. Does it even tell us what this is? Ethyl alcohol. So, clean the heads. Try not to soak the felt pads. Remember, if you soak the felt pads, you got to wait for them to dry or you'll get some drag. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Those heads are filthy. See that? And it really, that buildup will really impact the sound, muffle the sound, the playback. Okay, that record header is really dirty. All right, made a big difference, didn't it? Okay. Now we'll find the demagnetizer. Let me dig that out. Okay. This old realistic Radio Shack demagnetizer. And I put the heat shrink on her just to keep it from scratching the surfaces of the heads. You hold the trigger in and just move it around. You can hear it buzzing. See the magnetic. So we demagnetize the tape path, demagnetize the metal that comes in contact with the tape, demagnetize the capstan roller. Okay. should do it. Okay. So we can put her back together today. Check and see if we've broken any wires. That's another problem with doing it this way without disconnecting everything. You know, you probably already caught it when I put this back on. You probably said, can't wait. Can't put that pinch roller back on. All right, now be careful. Keep an eye on the washers right there. Okay. Alrighty. Somebody scratched or took a pencil and put directions on the reel of the tape. Alright. Let's go ahead and put that pinch roller back on so we don't lose the washer. Want to make sure that washer got centered. Okay. Alrighty. Great. Now, flip this back over. Easy does it. We'll put the stand back in there. Good and snug. And we got our two red washers, two red screws here and here with washers. Those are both snug. Good. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and clean this, if it'll clean. Okay. Okay, not much. See, we got things back in place. Yep. Okay. One of these was a long screw, and I don't know which one it was. I guess it was that one there. Yep. That was a long one, and the rest of them short. Medium, I mean. Medium. Medium, and then a short one there. Okay. And I forgot my washers. Once again, you caught that, I'm sure. Some of you guys that are OCD about this kind of stuff. Do you need washers? Do you have to have washers? No. Really? Don't even know why they put them in there, but whatever. We'll put them in there. That's where they were. Keep them from falling out after 30, 40, 50 years of use. I guess they could fall out without the washers. And they are lock washers, after all. That screw is just about shot. Okay. I got hinge screws. we've cleaned the heads, demagnetized the head, so let's put this back. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Before we put the cover back on, let's just see, whoops, what our audio is going to sound like. Should be pretty stable with the changes, with the oiling. Okay, where's our power? 9 volts. Just check the meter. That's that flop in that belt. Come on, belt. Let's see what that does without a tape on there. Yeah, see, it's not even gripping. Not even gripping with what I should have done, and I may be able to do here, what I should have done is clean that belt with rubber rejuvenator. That's really, so let's see if we can get this apart without having to disassemble the entire unit. We may be able to unhook the belt and clean it. So let's fast or just play. Rubber rejuvenator, do your job. Should have done that beforehand, shouldn't I? Okay, what we'll do is move that belt manually. All sides of the belt. There's the bump right there that we were talking about earlier. This will be a good test to see if the rubber rejuvenator actually works, because the belt was tight enough to just barely move. So if there's any glaze on this belt, this rubber rejuvenator will break some of that up and maybe solve our... And you know, it just occurred to me, we're bumping this belt all over this oiled shaft. Remember, we oiled this shaft a little bit. So I'm going to have to start over here. Let me get this oil off of the spindle. And then we're just doing this live, and mistakes and all. I think it's Shango that talks about that. You know, he does repairs, Shango 66, and he doesn't edit out the mistakes, and sometimes I edit out my mistakes. I'm just being honest with you. But mainly, not because they're mistakes, but mainly because it takes time, and my videos can be pretty long. Okay, so now we're not going to worry about this belt touching the oily shaft. We've got that cleaned. And we'll put some of this rejuvenator on the belt. There's the bump again, so we know we come back around. We may have to replace this belt, and it wouldn't be the end of the world. It just takes time to take it all back apart. But I don't want to do that since this belt was in pretty good condition other than the warp. And on the unit over here, this was the same problem. It had a much more defined set in the belt, that bump. And so it really didn't want to work correctly. So I had to replace that belt, and I printed one and replaced it, and it worked great. So we can do that, but we're trying to salvage this belt because some of you aren't going to have access to a 3D printer or to a new belt, and you're going to try to make your existing belt work. So that's why we're doing this way. And as you can see, if you didn't want if you didn't have to replace a broken belt, this would be one way you could fix it without tearing the whole thing all apart. But we're only talking about 5 or 6 screws. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, there's the bump again. So we've made it all the way around twice, and we're going to I'm blowing on it to dry. Okay, now we're not going to oil this just yet. We'll oil it after we get the spindle back on. So we'll put this down here and get it onto the bottom pulley. All right, and let's see if we got it on there. Yeah, we got it on there because you can see the spindle move, maybe. We got it on the right direction. Okay, now we'll put a tiny drop of oil on our take-up reel spindle. Very little oil. The problem, a lot of techs will over oil these things and then it spreads out into the belt area, and then we've got a problem. Okay, what do I do with my screw? There it is. There we go. All right. So it's turning now. It's got a little bit of a bite. Let's just see what it does. I don't remember which side had the audio on it, so we'll just put the tape in. Oh, get the tape under the on the spindle. The capstan. There we go. Still jumping. Actually, it caught on the reel that time. Yeah, it's catching on the reel. That's not a take-up problem. That's a reel problem. The reel's warped. We could pull it up just a hair. Let's see if that helps. Great. All right. Let's flip it over. Listen to a little bit of audio. Okay, so we know that the rubber rejuvenator on a borderline belt will get the job done. Okay.
It was done without any appropriation whatsoever, and it was the money that went into Lexington was taken from the other institutions.
Yeah, this tape, these reels are warped.
Lexington was a abandoned naval base, I believe, at one time.
Knob itself is what controls.
Fast forward. You see the reel grabbing the tape right there? So it's not.
Appropriation whatsoever.
All right, there was my recording was there just a second ago. Let's try.
Okay, the switch is working, and we're at
3 to 12 months. Limited availability in select areas.
All right, let's record again. All right, we're recording on the Channel Master, and we have done an oil. I'm going to stop that. It's just grabbing that tape. Lift that up, see if we can get a better recording. All right, we're recording on the Channel Master, and we've oiled the unit up. We've demagnetized the heads and cleaned the heads. We used rubber rejuvenator on all of the tires and the belt. So we should have a pretty decent recording now with very little wow and flutter. So let's see what this audio sounds like.
All right, we're recording on the Channel Master, and we have done an oil. All right, we're recording on the Channel Master, and we've oiled the unit up. We've demagnetized the heads and cleaned the heads. We used rubber rejuvenator on all of the tires and the belt. So we should have a pretty decent recording now with very little wow and flutter. So let's see what this audio sounds like.
It's got a little bit of flutter in it. Let's listen to, well, let's just record some music. I got to find a music device because I'm using my iPhone to record this audio. Let me see if I can find a music device here, and we'll record some music directly into the radio input. We need to plug the monitor in here and we could hear it. I've got a little earbud. I guess I could listen. Let's see if we're getting any audio here. Doesn't hear any. All I've got is a buzz. So it may not be recording on this jack. Okay, the switch is dirty. Okay, the switch is dirty. Good to know. All right, let's rewind it and start over. Since we don't have anything of any value on this tape, I'm just going to rewind it all the way, not be messing around trying to find out where I started and stopped. Okay, right there. Recording. Okay, so that's... Set the volume at about 3/4. All right, we'll have to spray that switch. All right, let's just listen. We got a few seconds there. All right, so let's take some deoxit, maybe we can get some down in there without taking the whole thing apart. Okay. See if that makes a difference. Rewind. Okay. It's still playing on the tape recorder over here. I mean on the Mac. Okay, that's nice and clean. Got a good clean connection now. It's not crackling. All right, it's very, very poor audio on the little earbud, but could be just my connection here. So we'll listen to it. Okay. I adjusted the volume there. This is my favorite part of the song, so we'll let it record there. All right, let's listen to it. All right, now let's put this other tape on there. Pretty grainy sound recording. I don't know if this is any newer of a material, but we'll see if it's a little bit better quality. We could do a bulk erase on that tape. Oops. Could do a bulk erase on that tape and might get a better quality recording, but let's just try. Let's just try and see if we can get a little better recording on this tape. What does this sound like? All right, so it's a little quieter. That might have been with a microphone. I don't remember if I used the radio connection on that.
I'm fine now, and one thing, it only lasts about 24 hours. Thank goodness. Roseanne was fine. She'd had it.
All right, that was a recording of someone. Fast forward here. Someone was recording a letter to someone. These reels are in a lot better condition. They're not warped like those others. All right, let's rewind it to the... Okay, right there. All right, we're recording, set for record, and play. See if we got audio. Okay, I got a little bit of audio. We'll just let it record here. Okay. Okay, so the recording circuit is questionable here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a recording with this one, with the radio connector, and let's just see what the difference is. It might be the recording that I did was with a microphone instead of with a direct connect, And it might be that this just has a little better recording circuit. So let's do a recording. The recordings that I made on that tape with this tape recorder, this is the first one, were much cleaner. Obviously, you can tell the difference. And so let's plug in the power, radio connection, mic, and we'll rewind. Yeah, it's pretty gravelly sounding. I'm not sure what. We're going to just jump right in here and record. Curious what this sounds like. Oh yeah, it definitely sounds different in the earphone already. So we could have a dirty connector. We could have a bad record head. I'm just not sure what we're getting on the audio recording circuit with this one as compared to our newly repaired one here. So we'll just do a little bit of recording here for a minute or two. Hear how quiet that is right there? Got a little bit of motor buzz. All right, let's just listen to that again. Okay, so you're tracking with me. What we're doing is we're comparing both the playback and the record, primarily the record functionality of the recently repaired deck. That's this one. Keep switching them back and forth. We're going to lose track of which is which, aren't we? This is about a microphone cord is a little better condition than that. So let's rewind it just a little. Well, got to hook up our power. Okay. All right, so it's definitely, the playbacks are the same. And I don't know whether you can tell that on the video or not, but the playbacks quality are the same. They're not perfect, but when I record on this unit, it's much cleaner. So let's just redo that take, that little segment there. All right, this is a nice quiet segment here. I ought to get a decent recording. Try it again. Okay. Record and play. And we'll just listen to see if the issue is the record circuit. We could have a dirty record circuit here, which we didn't spray those, which was a mistake on my part. I always try to remember anyway to spray both the volume controls and the switches, and it could be that that's what's going on. Let me just wiggle that switch a little bit while we're recording here. Maybe we can hear that in the recording. We'll know that we've got some crud in the record circuit. I know we were concerned about this. I'm wiggling that too, just to see if that's going to show up in the record. But it could be just a really poor record head that is causing poor recording onto the tape. All right, let's see what that sounds like. No, we didn't go far enough, maybe. Hear how grainy it sounds? Okay, so that's a grainy. Let's do the same segment one more time, just to confirm. And there we go. Rewind. Well, I have batteries in this one, such as they are. See, it's still grainy. But that's recording on this one, the old one. All right, we'll stop there and try the same segment. Let me find that on the... There we go, right there. Okay, recording. Alrighty. Trying to see if we got a clean recording on the first tape recorder. Okay, let's stop there. Rewind. All right, definitely different. Improved recording. There's the first recording. Very granular. All right, then this is the recording with the good recording with the first recording. So you can see it's clearly a difference in the quality of the recording on the same tape. Much cleaner, much cleaner. I want to know what you all think. What could be causing such a granular recording on this tape deck as compared to this tape deck? I really would value your opinions. I have a theory, but I'm going to withhold my opinion and just see what you all think. I'm open to suggestions, and so let me know what you think. I hope you track what we did. We used tape recorder 1 on Record Select Radio, direct off of the music device, recorded nice clean, and I'm saying nice clean, it's a relative term, obviously not by digital standards today, nice clean reel-to-reel recording. when I record on this device, same other parameters, using the same tape, the audio is very granular. The only way I can describe it, as you could probably detect on the video here. So what do you think's going on? Cleaned the heads, demagnetized them. Cleaned the heads, demagnetized them. Tape speed slightly different between the two tapes. It could be that this is running a little bit slower or a little faster. I can't remember which way, but they're pretty close. Both have been cleaned and both have clean belts. The tape path is clear. What am I missing? Why is this one so granular compared to this Channel Master? I would be interested in knowing what you all think. And again, thanks for watching The Vintage Tech.